Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Hello Pivot Live. And so, if you don't know, Hello stands for Helping Entrepreneurs Leverage Leading Web3 Optimizations, but most importantly, it really means helping everyone live life optimally. And we're going to show you our new AI MotionWorks. Take it away, Mr. Jones.
Are you an innovative entrepreneur or business owner ready to embrace the future of business transformation?
The world is evolving at an unprecedented pace, and it's crucial to adapt and pivot towards success in this dynamic landscape. At the Hello LLC, we are dedicated to guiding you through this transformative journey, offering a comprehensive suite of services that extend beyond the metaverse and 3D immersive experiences.
Our mission is to empower businesses and brands by assisting them in building, branding, systemizing, and automating their operations. We specialize in steering businesses from a two-dimensional existence to a thriving three-dimensional presence, where opportunities abound.
We help businesses harness the power of technology to work smarter, not harder, enabling them to operate efficiently and stay ahead of the curve. Our diverse range of services includes:
Our Biz in a Box is a complete business solution package designed to jumpstart your entrepreneurial journey. From strategic planning to digital infrastructure, we've got you covered. Your one app, one tap solution.
Our MotionWork AI videos transform your brand storytelling with our cutting-edge AI-driven video production, captivating your audience like never before.
Our 3D VR environments will step you into the future of immersive experiences. With our custom 3D virtual reality environments that engage and captivate your customers.
Lastly, in our Pivot membership program, we offer tailored guidance and support to either show you, teach you, or take care of the transformation process for you.
According to a 2023 study by Fundera, a staggering 28% of small businesses in the United States do not have an online presence. This statistic underscores the importance of embracing digital transformation. Having a website is more than just an online presence, it's a gateway to unlocking numerous benefits, including reaching a broader audience, showcasing your products or services, generating leads and sales, establishing trust, providing customer support, and maintaining competitiveness within your industry.
The Hello LLC is committed to helping you excel in all these aspects of modern business, not just limited to the metaverse alone.
Why should you choose the Hello LLC to navigate this transformational journey?
By partnering with us and harnessing cutting-edge technology, you can provide immersive experiences for your customers, expand your global reach, reduce operational costs, and enhance brand recognition, all while working with a company that holds integrity in high regard. Our commitment to ethical and principled business practices ensures that your journey towards success is not only innovative, it is also firmly rooted in trust and transparency.
Don't wait. Take the first step towards a brighter business future. Contact us today to explore how we can support you in developing a remarkable digital presence and immersive experience that will leave a lasting impression.
Yeah. And so, guys, that is our Hello AI MotionWorks. This week, we had an amazing conversation of, don't wait, create, your own podcast and audio room, and let's press the button. And a lot of the times people don't want to press the button because they don't want to show up. They don't want to get dressed. They don't want to put the makeup on and all that other stuff. And this AI that we create for people is an amazing, addition to be able to add to your social media, to be able to add as your intro to your podcast. This literally allows you to be able to take a step back and allow AI to do the work, which is something that we continue to share with you guys all. AI is here and it is not going away, especially as we implement, this Web3 technology and really understanding that we can no longer hide behind a logo. We can no longer hide behind a video. We literally have to show up and be authentic, and people want to know who you are and what you do. And so that's why in our How To Tuesdays, that if you guys don't know about, at 4:30 Eastern every single Tuesday, we go through what buttons to press, give you tips and tricks. We encourage you guys to go to our Biz in a Box. We have over 5 guides that literally lead you to, the AI, apps that we have, how you can monetize your social media, understanding what metaverse is, understanding how you can monetize in metaverse. And metaverse is not owned by Mark Zuckerberg. Let's make that very clear. Mark Zuckerberg owns Horizon, which is a world in metaverse. So it's kind of like the internet. And then he has a website. And because he was first to this new website, everybody says, oh, he owns metaverse. No, he owns one world, and there's multiple different worlds that you can utilize, such as what we do to implement your business, to showcase your business. And really, if you're utilizing Zoom, you definitely should be, implementing metaverse into your world, because you get a 50% increase in engagement, utilizing that. And Tara, you shared some amazing things on Tuesday as well. What was your takeaway from, Tuesday's room?
Just really the power of having and utilizing social audio, and really the power of taking long form content. So if you do a room and being able to capture that and break it down into multiple short term content. So it really is working harder, or working smarter, not harder. The oxymoron, Freudian slip there. But it really comes down to the simple understanding of the importance of bringing value to the community. A lot of people will live in the world of, well, I don't want to give all the way, all my, secrets and all that away. And what happens is you have to allow people the ability to get a taste and a sample and example of what you offer as a company. And if you don't, there's just your likelihood of gaining new clients or customers really is not going to be there, because at the end of the day, they don't know what you offer. They can't get a sample. It's kind of like when you show up to Costco. How many times do you guys see the little carts that are like, want a sample? Would you like to try? And half the time you try that and you're like, where is that? And they're like, right there in the freezer section. And, they made a purchase by you just getting a sample. Now, that costs them, because they are the one who is giving the sample. So that's product they're giving away. But the return on your investment, the ROI, is where it's at. And a lot of people don't understand, especially in small businesses. We kind of get lost in that. I don't want to, be putting a lot of money out that I'm not going to get an ROI on. And I'm going to be very frank. The more value you give, the more likely you're going to have a higher ROI on your investment, your return of your time investment, return of your product investment, whatever it is, because it is giving people a taste, giving them a sample, giving them an experience, what to expect. And the subconscious, and I talked about this on Tuesday, is the subconscious will, when you are giving high amounts of value to your community, their natural reaction, their subconscious's natural reaction is going to say, wow, if I'm getting this much value, imagine what happens if I go ahead and actually purchase a product, and so, or services from that company. So it really is kind of counterproductive to what our old thinking styles were. And like we say, you got to get out of that stingy energy, and having social audio rooms providing value really helps you step out of those boundaries and out of that box. So yeah.
And then, the one thing that we also have is our Wisdom Wednesday. And this week, our amazing Wisdom Wednesday was, your emotions beyond the bottom line, the human side of entrepreneurship. And we're really talking about, you being able to be emotional aware, that emotional IQ over the actual, smart IQ. And a lot of the times our emotional IQ, actually 95% of, our decisions is emotional. And, we have to be able to control our emotions, how we handle customers, how we handle our daily activity, how we're able to interact with other people. And then more importantly, not allowing our emotions and opinions get in the way of, the facts of running our business. Well, I don't get on Facebook, and I don't get on YouTube, and I don't get on TikTok. And it's like, you have a business, there's 7, you have to have an average of 7 social media outlets, because everybody's everywhere nowadays. It's not just one focal point. And so, we really stressed about that, especially talking about, the 4 agreements and bringing that to the forefront and reminding people about the 4 agreements. So it was a great conversation as always.
It really was. I like to share with people, emotion is, emotion. It's energy in motion. And a lot of times we don't realize that energy in motion is sparked or triggered or, ignited from, somebody else saying something, or somebody maybe cutting you off in traffic, whatever it is, and it transports you back to a past time, a past experience, sometimes good, bad, or indifferent, but it takes you back to something that you've already experienced. And a lot of times people don't have that emotional awareness. They don't have that just self-awareness of what's going on. And so they tend to get really, kind of tied into the emotion of the current circumstances. In reality, it's a reference back to a past experience. And if you haven't allowed that experience or that emotion to process through your body, it gets trapped. And that trapped energy in your body, that emotion, that trapped energy within body can't move. And when it can't move, it creates dis-ease. And then that ultimately in the long run creates disease in your body. And we have to understand that not only what we eat, but what we consume energetically, whether it's experiences and things like that, we've got to move that through. And that emotion really can, be a sink or swim kind of thing. And a lot of people don't realize how important it is in business and in your profession or your personal life, just period of that. It comes back down to that self-awareness, and having self-awareness really is something incredible and helpful. So it's a great business tool. And as they say, you can be street smart or book smart. And a lot of people will pick street smart because there's an experience and there's a wisdom that comes with the experiences. And that's kind of the same thing with emotional intelligence, that IQ of your, EQ. And understanding that EQ really can sink or swim. And so it's important to be aware of it.
Absolutely. And so, look, guys, we have an amazing event this afternoon. You guys, football season's back. So come into our Hello Plaza metaverse that you can join from your phone, your laptop, your iPad, or the VR headsets, and come and watch some football. If you don't want to spend all that money on NFL Red Zone and all the rest of those channels, then come on down. We got you covered all season for you guys to come and enjoy, football and interact and talk and come ride our golf carts. And we're going to be playing bingo and all these sorts of games. And so definitely come and experience something new. But without further ado, love, we have a special guest today.
Absolutely. Well, let's go ahead and bring up our special guest today. We're going to introduce to you Miss Elizabeth Walker, everybody. She likes to call herself a creative professional. She is based out of the Blue Ridge Mountains in Virginia. She's dedicated to bringing powerful and personal content to her audience. And as a podcast producer and host, so she understands how this goes, she gets to connect with thought leaders worldwide, providing them with a focused platform and share a message of passion and skill set. And, really when producing and publishing her amazing Dear Business Coach podcast, it's her way of bringing the audience meaningful connections and unique social community experiences. And we are just excited to have her today. Miss Elizabeth, we got you on mute, but it's so good to have you, love. What you got? What would you like to add to that we did not capture?
Oh, no, that was great. That was a really awesome reading. I hope I can catch that clip somewhere. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, we are so excited to have you here. Take it away, Mr. Jones.
Yeah. So, we had an amazing time on your podcast, which was absolutely amazing. Thank you for having me as a guest, and so, what is, I know what it is, but tell the people, what is the power of podcasting for you?
Yeah. So the power of podcasting is a fun term, right? Because you might either say, oh, okay, boring. I've heard that before. Everybody says the power of podcasting, or you haven't gotten there yet where you really feel the effects of what it means. I actually listened to one of my favorite comedians on her podcast the other day, and she was just doing her normal thing, telling jokes and then somewhere in the show, she slipped in there. She said, my number one piece of advice to anyone doing anything is to start a podcast, because she said, I can't tell. Now she's a famous headliner. She has a lot of material, that's live streaming stand-up specials. And she said, this podcast is how I've gotten to meet so many connections that it has actually done that much for my stand-up career. So I thought, at some point I want to remember that she said that. So that's podcasting is not a huge capital outlay. You can do it for free with your cell phone. And so when I talk about podcasting in my LinkedIn events and otherwise, that's what I mean, is that it gives you the opportunity to meet people that you wouldn't otherwise be able to have a conversation with. And you can do it without any capital outlay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so true. Go ahead, love.
No, you hit the nail on the head. I think a lot of people, we've talked to a lot of people that kind of, just exactly what you share. There's not a lot. You don't have to have anything outside that cell phone that you already have and the free headset that they give you to start your own podcast. And a lot of people think they have to have the whole setup and the whole shebang. And it's like, no, you don't need any of that. There's free platforms to get you broadcasted out there, And the other thing is that people don't always have to have a guest. Some people stop and get stuck in their, tracks and just don't realize that they could talk about whatever, makes their boat float, and that's something that's so powerful. And speaking of powerful, you've got some amazing events lined up this year. Would you like to share with us some of those incredible events that you got lined up?
Yeah, definitely. So, the closest one in time is in Hollins, Virginia, which is in the Roanoke, Virginia area. I'm hosting an event that will also be broadcast as a LinkedIn Live audio event, podcasting for young women executives. The Hollins, Virginia area is right at Hollins University, which is a liberal arts college in Virginia. So that neighborhood is a good place to hang out if you like to find people who are writers and creators. And the Roanoke area is also where I'm hosting another event coming up in October called The Power of Laughter, a masterclass with Clayton Fletcher. So he's a comedian and a speaker, and he has a business workshop all about comedy. And so I've invited him to come to Roanoke, Virginia for this workshop. It's a full day, 1 day only event, and that's at the Jefferson Center, which is a historical performing arts building here.
Yeah, that's awesome. We have to be able, and something that Tara shared as well, right, is to be able to, be authentic, and your story is your glory, and starting a podcast allows you to do that. And you being able to interact with so many people around the world that you would have never had that opportunity, because we know, going in people's DMs, hey, book this appointment, hey, I want to talk to you about this. I want to connect. It goes in one ear and goes out the other, and you never get that opportunity to speak because we're all in our own way. But being able to have guests on your podcast, being able to hear somebody else's story and be able to resonate with what they're going through, especially those of us that are coaches or entrepreneurs, we hear somebody else's story and we're like, oh, I'm not the only one going through this drama. I'm not the only one going through this craziness. And you too, you like yellow trucks? I like yellow trucks. And so, it really resonates for us to be able to, this is really a self-development course internally for us. And especially as we talk to coaches and we are able to do, these amazing things, especially on your podcast, Dear Business Coach, you've had the opportunity to talk to a lot of coaches and been able to experience a lot of their different aspects of life and their things that they implement into their business. But, who are some of the coaches that you've worked with, throughout your podcast and throughout your journey?
Yeah, well, so thank you. That's actually a great question. And while you're speaking, I love being in this live interaction too. And I was listening to you talk made me think about the first time that I heard your voice and got introduced to you, because I was just trying to think, okay, David, you know what? Now that we have had each other on each other's shows, I almost can't remember how we met. Now you are a friend of mine. So, right. And that's what happens when you meet business folks and teachers and coaches, and you're a coach and you're a teacher. And I like to use the word teacher because, yeah, some of my favorite guests are people that have that passion, right? You can tell you get excited, David and Tara. I'm sorry, I keep saying Tara and Tara, and I'm not saying it properly.
It's okay. It's Tara, but I answer to both.
Yeah.
Trust me,
I
it took
knew
me
that.
3 months to know her name. I was introducing her to people, and I would be like, this is Tara. And then she would look at me, and I'll be like, no, this is Tara. So, yeah, trust me. Don't feel bad.
Thank you. Yeah. So now we're friends, and so yeah, so I can't, it was hard to even remember where did we meet, but now I remember you were on a LinkedIn Live audio room, and I was listening to you talk, and I was thinking this guy's really fun to listen to because he's talking about vehicles that are delivering products to us on the highways today as we're having this conversation that do not have drivers, and it hadn't really occurred to me that was happening in real time right now. And then, of course, speaking of yellow trucks, once you spot one, you spot a lot more on your trip that day, right? So I think it was maybe a week or two later, my partner were having a conversation. My partner and I were having a conversation around dinner and something around the news. And he was like, you know that there are trucks on the road right now, like delivery trucks that are carrying cargo there's no no driver. And I'm going, we were just talking about this in the LinkedIn Live audio, and this guy David, right, I hadn't met you officially yet, was talking about this. So I love teachers like yourself, business coaches who are interested in looking forward and inviting the audience to do that too. And so some of my favorite coaches, one of my favorite interviews actually is Angela Duncan. She's actually a real estate woman, and she came onto my podcast to talk about what podcasting was doing for her business. She's not in the business of podcasting. She's in real estate and investing, but she, as a person who builds and scales businesses really quickly and at a very furious, impressive pace, got in the podcast game for her business because she saw the same thing. Oh my gosh, I can literally stream and talk for free. And this is something that is kind of an untapped resource. So people who are interested in looking at their resources that are right in front of them every day as business assets, right? It doesn't have to be something you spend money on or a lot of money, right? I expanded into my own website, which is $12 a month, so I did choose to do that. So my favorite coaches are teachers like yourself who are always asking new questions and asking us as audience members to always continue to reevaluate yourself a little bit every day. So, I will say too that an element of what makes you a good teacher also, David, is this is not complicated, right? You're not saying it's rocket science. You're saying actually exactly the opposite. We're just inviting you into the room and holding space for everybody to enjoy and feel and taste and see, how we're enjoying the business space a little bit differently. And I'm 40 years old, and so I am what you call a geriatric millennial. And I'm still using that term lightly because somebody's going to ask me to actually define what that means, and I'm not really sure. I think that means I'm geriatric millennial. I'm at the very end, right? So somebody who knows generational dates and things can define that. But at 40, I'm kind of feel like stuck in between like a younger generation and an older generation. A lot of the people that I look up to and a lot of the people that I have worked for and with are retirement age now. Mm-hmm. And I recently got to meet Stephen Cody, who is a co-author, The ROI of LOL. And he is notorious for involving his interns in his comedy training with his executives. And so that's the kind of thing that, keeps business moving forward. And you guys know that here, right? It's like we want to hold space for everybody to enjoy what's moving forward. And it doesn't have to be expensive or rocket science.
Yeah. I think one of the most important things you just shared that I want to point back out, that I think a lot of people are just so mind blown that you shared, that you do not have to be in the business of podcast. And
Right.
so often people are like, well, I don't have anything to talk about. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at that. I don't want to be on camera. And it's just the unknown to what a podcast is. And you could be a real estate agent, as you shared. And if you like to garden, right? If I was by water right now, I would definitely, probably be doing a podcast, or now TikToking, going fishing all the time. Tara better be glad we left home, or we'd be at we'd be at Salt Lake, fishing every weekend doing TikTok. And so, that's the one great thing that we want you all to understand. You do not have to be in the business of podcasting. Podcasting is just a way for you to express yourself, a way for you to get other people to know who you are. And really, podcasting allows you to be able to, just like with this one, we're going to be able to chop this video up. And now I have social media for weeks to come. And so that's some of the things that, we really want people to understand of why the podcast is so important to your business. And everybody should have a podcast, whether it's once a week, once a month, once a quarter, once a year. I wouldn't suggest that, but do something.
Yeah, definitely.
It's funny you talk about like the community and just kind of staying on top of things. I mean, the other day in our social audio room, I asked people, I was like, how many of you are still using a typewriter? Raise your hand. How many of you are still using, a fax machine on a daily basis? How many of you have a pager right now and don't have a cell phone? I mean, technology is ever evolving. The moment one technology comes out, it's already old and dated, because there's always evolution. And that's something in our business that you spoke to, is kind of always kind of keeping on top of that evolution of what's next and what's coming down the pipeline as a business, because you can't get sedentary, and you can't kind of just, go, okay, well, I got my website up and that's it. In the 6 months, you're going to need to revamp, re-add, fine tune, whatever it is, but it's a constant evolution, And so as we speak about amazing podcasts and all that, what are some basics that people need to remember when recording a podcast episode?
Okay. Yeah, well, so the one thing that I am trying to remember to share in my LinkedIn Live audios events right now, speaking to folks who are executives who speak, if you're as a guest on a podcast, for example, if you are a host too, this goes, but you might be invited to a conversation and forget that the listener is experiencing this audio in a very personal one-on-one way. So to keep things easy for yourself and to keep that experience really rich for the listener is to talk to one person. So when you're on my show, right, sometimes we kind of break character and we'll say things like our listeners, or tell our listeners where they can find you. And we will say things like that because we know that there's an audience of people more than one. However, when speaking, some of the experts will tell you to remember, talk to one person. So it helps keep you focused, and then your person, that one person who's listening to you right now, will have that personal experience. And, earlier you were saying that a lot of us have there is a reason why the word personal and powerful is part of the verbiage in the bio there that you read, because that is part of what, a lot of the stories that I hear that I resonate with is people who experience podcasting as listeners do find conversations that get very intimate, right, can change people's lives, like these stories you can relate to, tough times people go through that they can listen to and relate to. And just listening in that one-on-one feeling in your earbuds or in your car, that's also why podcasting is very unique, that one-on-one listening experience.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Some other things, that I'll throw in there is that you can start your podcast today. You can literally go to Anchor, Spotify on your Apple phone, on your Samsung, download the app. You all got those earbuds that came with your phone. And the first one is just to be able to introduce yourself, what you do, what the podcast is about. The second one could be, about your story of your life. And then literally you guys should be utilizing AI to go in and put all of the information about yourself or about what the podcast is, and you can be able to have it give you ideas and episodes and things of that sort. We've gotten to the age now where it's copy, paste, drag, drop, where you don't have to be the creative person. This AI allows us all to be creative as long as we ask the right questions and we prompt it in the right direction to give us what we want. And you can ask it to be bold. You can ask it to be heartfelt. You can ask it to give you emotions and to give you these ideas. And so this is really where it comes down to you pressing the button and you starting a podcast, being a guest on podcast. And so, and even starting your own audio room. You don't have to go that extensive if you don't want to. Starting an audio room and being able to have it on different platforms, like we share with our LinkedIn, community. Hey, don't just go on LinkedIn. LinkedIn doesn't record these actual conversations. You should have be on YouTube. You should be on your TikTok. You should be on Spaces. You should be on Twitch. You should be on your Facebook, which is what we're on right now. So we're able to expand ourselves out and utilize our time more effectively, and don't worry about, oh, it's going to take all this time. A lot of people also, oh, I got to cut and I got to edit. No, you don't need to do any of that, because people want the real you. They want the us, they want the ahs, and they want the, ooh, or maybe I messed up there, because that's entertainment. They're actually waiting for you to mess up, right? So, give them a show and do something about it. So, how can people be featured on, your on with your event that you have that's coming up in Virginia? Tell the people about that, how they can get involved in that.
Yeah, definitely. So you can actually just contact me directly, Dear Business Coach Podcast at gmail.com, at dearbusinesscoachpodcast.com. The website is full of click here, contact me here, click here, contact me here. It is Dear Business Coach Podcast at gmail.com. And if you go all the way to the website, there's that link, there's an ad to actually sign up for the event. But right here today, while we're talking, you can email me directly, and that is your shortcut, dearbusinesscoachpodcast at gmail.com, and you'll get an invite.
I love it.
I love it. Yeah. It's the power of being able to collaborate and network, and really people don't realize that showing up and having a conversation and participating in events, like yours, this, coming up, is we as humans get in our own way a lot of times, and we'll go, oh, nobody's gonna, or, and we downgrade ourselves or our talent or our worth or what we have to share. And there's been times that David and I have showed up to, social audio rooms of our own, and there not be anybody, but it's the power of showing up. And I think that's what, people that want to show up and, be able to just have that network, whether it's they're just networking with you, you know what I mean? Like, of course, there's going to be people at your event, but my point being is the power of just getting to know people and just being heard and share your thoughts and your value. Again, a lot of times people think, oh, I don't have anything valuable to share or showcase. And in reality, no, you do. You have a whole lot of things to be able to share. And you might be saying the same thing that, Elizabeth is saying, but at the end of the day, you said it just a little bit different, and it landed on somebody differently than when Elizabeth said it or David said it or I said it. We just discredit our, our value so quickly. And so it's so important to take those opportunities, and especially like right now that you're saying, hey, jump in here. Let's have that conversation. Let's be a part of that. And how powerful that is for people to be able to do that. So as you can see, we're in our amazing metaverse here. You joined us in here as well, Elizabeth. So we snuck this question in, and we just kind of want you to share with the audience, how you feel when, and how easy it was for you to jump in here and be a part of this, and tune into the metaverse, as we say.
Yeah, well, first of all, the colors are awesome. I love these colors, and that is fun. It's fun to come into the room. I think so, right, just like you said earlier, when you say that you can join from anywhere, when I see your invites, that is actually what that means. I'm looking at this on my phone right now. A second ago, I did have it up on my laptop too, but no, I'm looking at it on my phone. And what is interesting about this layout, right? It was easy, like it was easy to get in, right? It was easier than, say logging into my email or something. You just pop right in there. There's not really anything to it. But spatially, once you get in there, at first I thought, uh-oh, I'm going to have to figure out how to navigate. But once you actually are actually here, then it's so easy to, once you, how responsive the interface is, if that's the right word.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And this is something that we share with people. We get in our own way of understanding new technology and understanding how easy it is. Prime example, right? When Zoom came around, a lot of us were still doing phone calls, and oh, press this button, press that button, and somebody would say, "Hey, let's just meet on Zoom," and you'd be like, "Zoom? What is that?" And then you'd be like, "Oh." And you made it a big ordeal. What's the code? What's the password? It's not working. And once you got in there, oh my goodness, I can see you. You can see me. I can share the screen. It was a completely different experience. And now this is where we're moving to, is this 3D immersive experience where, this morning you didn't have to get your hair done. I ain't got none, so I ain't got to worry about it. You don't have to get your makeup done, any of that stuff. But you literally can jump into, this technology, create your avatar, change your avatar, and this is your replacement to Zoom. That's how, and like you said earlier, we make it very simple. We don't want to complicate these things because we already know people are going to complicate them and make them harder than they need to be. You would be amazed of how hard it is for us to share with people, hey, press this button in our Biz in a Box, download an app, come back, press the same button, and voila, you're in a different experience. And it's kind of like, when the radio was around in the 30s and 40s, people were so accustomed to the radio. And then all of a sudden, this television came around and people were like, hey, this television, people doubted it. People said, no way, people will spend 8 to 10 hours on that. And then all of a sudden you saw it. You cannot explain a television to somebody that's listened to the radio. And one of the great posts that we posted earlier this week is that, in the times before times, the caveman, when the fire was created, they were like, oh my God, this fire, what is it going to do? It might be harmful, and look at what fire's done for us today and created for us today. Same thing with AI, same thing with metaverse. People are looking at it being like, oh my God, what's going on? See, you're moving around. And then one of the biggest things is just for us to read. We've gotten to this habit of not reading instructions and not paying attention because we think we know it all. And especially when people jump in this room, it gives you a big, direction, a guide of what buttons to press and what to do. And just like with your avatar, you can have your podcast in here. You could be able to have, your events in here. This is literally a new wave to be able to interact on a global scale. We no longer need brick and mortar stores anymore. We no longer need to go to these events or, set up booths. When me and Tara first started, we were in the wellness and David was going to this part of town, that part of town, setting up tents, setting up this. And it could have been like, hey, look, let's have, event 24/7. And for those of you that are in retail and sales, this increases your sales by 30%, hands down, compared to somebody who's going to tell you to go to their crusty, dusty, static website, to now being able to say, hey, go to, this actual, metaverse world where you can interact, you can see the videos. We're now starting to implement avatars. We're talking avatars. We'll talk about your business, about your podcast, whatever we want to program it to now you literally have a virtual assistant. And I know I would love to have a virtual assistant that knows all the information I know and be able to, respond in the way that we do. And that's where we're at now. And so this is where we share with people, We've gotten to the stage to where we can create whatever we want to create. You think it, we can create it, because we get so many times people that say, oh, I would love to have this. I would love to. It can be done. Let's do it. Right? You want to do it, but will you do it is the question. And get out of that uncomfortable way of thinking that, oh no, it's not that time yet. Well, it is that time yet, because just like these events that you go to, if the event starts at 12 o'clock and you show up at 12 o'clock, other than showing up at 11:30, you're setting up, getting everything together, not getting it together the right way, while other people that were there earlier are taking on customers nice and easy and not sweating and, trying to get everything together. So this is where we share with people, be preventative in your business and not be left behind, because what we do is we can show you, we can teach you, or we can do it for you, but do something better than nothing. And please don't be out here telling other people to do things and you're not doing them as well.
Can you, so I figured out how to come and stand behind you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So as we wrap up this amazing conversation today, share with everyone where they can find you, how they can get in touch with you again, just so if they want to be a part of your event that's coming up, if they want to be on your podcast, share that information, because we'd love for them to jump in and dive in with you.
Yes, thank you. And that's dearbusinesscoachpodcast.com. So when you go to dearbusinesscoachpodcast.com, you should get a pop-up to ask you to subscribe to email. Please do that. And of course, from there, you can enjoy the emails that come to you with events and invites to the events and podcast material. And then again, directly email me, please. That's at dearbusinesscoachpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah. Well, we greatly appreciate that. We encourage everybody to dive in and absolutely, be a part of that. And just get connected with you, because again, as a community, as we grow, it's so important for us to be able to share value, cross knowledge, share our platforms, because we are moving out of the stingy energy into the community energy, where it really is to where there's enough abundance in this world for all of us to thrive and be, successful and have everything that we want. And as long as we live in that space and we create that space for others, we do this, as they say, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to, raise a business and just be able to share that value. So as we go ahead and close today, is there anything that you would like to add that we might have not been able to ask you or share?
Well, you all are, thank you for having me here. I really appreciate it. And yes, you all are here every day and doing these events. Well, not every day, but you guys are open for business. And that is the one thing that creating space where you can invite others to speak with you like this is how we can all be open for business. And so I really thank you so much for having me here. And I see Coral is a friend of mine on the watching the live stream. Hi, Coral. She was invited today and is with us.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, she joined us yesterday in our Wisdom Wednesday room and dropped some amazing knowledge. And this is what this is all about. This is about us collaborating together, us showcasing what we do, how we do it, and understanding there's enough abundance out here for us all. I continue to share this, is that, collaboration is the new competition. And so often we hear that, but we really don't do that. And this is where, we're swiping on our phone. We see each other's posts, like the post, comment on the post if you have time, repost it. And not just on one platform, but multiple platforms. And this is where we all get to come together and really celebrate each other at the end of the day. And so we're so grateful, that you had the opportunity to come and join us today, Miss Elizabeth. And so, with that being said, love, anything that you want to share as we get out of here?
We just appreciate everybody tuning in, everybody being a part of this amazing conversation. And you know the drill, Mr. Jones: love,
kindness,
and integrity.
But most importantly,
commitment
and consistency.
And until next time,
Toodles.
See you all later. It's good to see you guys. Thank you and have a great weekend.
Yeah, we're going to leave you guys with a great video of ours on the metaverse as well as we exit out of here. Here we go.
You a forward-thinking entrepreneur or business owner? The world is changing faster than ever, and it's time to pivot and adapt to the future. Hello LLC is here to help you do just that. Hello stands for helping enterprises leverage leading-edge optimizations. Our innovative solutions can streamline operations, reduce overhead costs, and give you a competitive edge in a market projected to reach $5 trillion by 2030. By pivoting to the metaverse, businesses can tap into a rapidly growing market that is projected to be a significant part of daily life for 25% of Americans by 2026. As a full digital metaverse agency, the Hello LLC can help you create custom solutions to streamline operations, increase productivity, reduce costs, and drive brand recognition. Why should you pivot to the metaverse with the Hello LLC? By leveraging cutting-edge technology, you can provide immersive experiences for your customers, expand your global reach, and unlock new revenue streams. Contact us today to make the pivot.
And with that being said, there we go. So, Miss Elizabeth, anything you want to add at the end?
Well, no, thank you very much. That was great.
Awesome. Well, we shall see you guys later. Have an amazing Thursday. Toodles.
Have a great one. Appreciate so much.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.